Hi everyone, welcome to Young Arts. We're going to be doing a castle today and I'm Miss Patty. So good to see everybody. Your castle can be as complicated or as simple as you want. We're going to be doing this and I'm going to go over the art supplies that we need. First, let's review about castles. Castles are in the United States, but those are new castles. Those are castles that are built to look like old castles. The old castles in Europe were built in the 1200s and the 1300s. And they had towers as lookouts. They had a gate to keep the enemy out. They had a cobblestone walk to go into the castle. And you can add grass or a moat if you want. For my older artists, if you want to add a dragon, just go ahead and Google how to draw a dragon and you can add a dragon to your artwork. Let's go over the art supplies that we're going to be needing. I did this project using crayons. So I like to lay out all my crayons. You can use crayons. You can use paints. You're going to need a glass of water if you have paints, and a paper towel to wipe your paintbrush off to make sure it's nice and clean. You're going to need a Sharpie to go over all the lines, and of course a pencil. We're starting out with pencil, and an eraser. If you don't have a pink eraser, make sure that your pencil has an eraser. You can also use, if you want to color in your castle with markers. But most importantly, you need a pencil with an eraser. When you get done, please email me your project if you want, if you like the way it turned out, to Miss Patty Young Arts, Miss Patty Young Arts at gmail.com. And we're going to have this at the end of the show so that you can see my email address. And also give me feedback. If you think the project was too hard, I'd like to hear your feedback on that, or too easy, or if you have something you want to add to the lesson for next time. Let's go ahead. Feel free to email me. I'll answer you as soon as you email me. Okay, let's get started. Let's get started on drawing a castle. Now, for our older artists, I want you to draw it a little fancier than what we're doing now. I want you to add extra details like maybe a snow-covered mountain or a moat or a different kind of front fence or gate. This is done in crayons. I used crayons for these, and I used them like I used them for colored pencils. I made shadows on one side. Remember, if your shadows are on the right, then they're always going to be on the right for everything. If you make your shadows on the left, it's always going to be on the left. So let's take a look at this artwork that I made. This is what we're going to be drawing today. Where is the sun? Look at this, my artist friends. Where do you think the sun is if there's shadows on the right-hand side? Think about that. The sun would be over here. We would have the sun over here because the sun is shining here, and that means the shadow is on the other side. Sun would be here. Okay, in this particular one, I made grass in the front of the castle, and I made rocks coming up. These are details. Rocks coming up to the front gate. Your gate can be open or closed. You can make your castle any color. You can make it gray. You can make your castle black. You can make your castle rainbow color. This is going to be your choice. I made mine just different colors, kind of rainbow colors. But if you do Princess Land, if your castle's going to say Princess Land, or if your name is Alexa, Alexa Land, or Kelsey Land, whatever it is, you can make it. You can make yours Jonathan Land or Darren Land and make it very menacing. You can also put people in your castle artwork, or you can put a dragon in yours. You're going to have to look that up and Google how to draw a dragon, and I saw it there just this morning on Google. If you Google how to draw a dragon, it takes you step by step for drawing a dragon. But today we're just going to learn how to draw a castle, and details can be added later. You can use, I'm using crayons, you can use paint. Don't forget to test your paint on the back of your paper. So when I'm doing painting, I always test colors on the back and paints on the back of my paper, and no one will ever know that you're doing that. I'm going to wipe it off so I don't get it on my other artwork. Test your colors on the back, and you'll never know that when you turn over your artwork, you'll see just a masterpiece. Okay, let's get started. You're going to need the following things. I'm going to give you a moment to find your supplies. You're going to need a pencil to start. We're going to start with pencil. You're going to need a Sharpie or a black marker. Doesn't have to be a Sharpie. If you're using crayons, it does not have to be a Sharpie. But if you're using watercolor paints, you need something permanent. This is a permanent marker because the watercolors will ruin your black marker if you do the regular Crayola black marker. You need Sharpie. But since we're only doing crayons today, or colored pencils, if you have colored pencils in your room, feel free to use those as well, or paints. Let's see, what else do we need? We need, if you're using paints, you need a paper towel to wipe your paintbrush off on. Make sure your paintbrush is clean before you start another color. You need a glass of water if you're using watercolors. If you are not, then you can just set out your beautiful crayons like I have. I like to set them out, boys and girls, so you can see all the different colors. Some of you have the really fancy set with like 100 crayons. So I think that's really cool. You can really do a spectacular castle if you have a lot of crayons. But you can use both crayons and paints if you want. And you can also use our markers if you want. Markers work well too. And those of you that remember my other art lessons, you can turn these markers into watercolors by just adding water to them. I will show you. I'm going to show you right now blue. Let's try blue. We'll try it on the back of my artwork so no one knows. And I'm going to do the fat side of the marker. And I'm just going to go like this. And if I want another color next to it to mix in, let's see if we can mix. Who knows? Who can remember from 3rd grade what yellow and blue mix together? Yellow and blue are primary colors. What happens when we mix yellow and blue together? And I'm going to show you right now. Right there. Take your paintbrush. This is how you turn markers into watercolor paints. I'm going to mix them up together. Turns green. So all you do is put your marker down and use a little bit of water, just plain water, to turn your markers into watercolors. Don't forget to wipe off your paintbrush when you finish using one color so that the next color is pretty and not icky. Okay, I'm going to wipe this off a little bit so we don't get it on our artwork. Okay, I already pre-sketched out. I pre-sketched out our drawing. I'm going to do it in Sharpie so that you can see it. You are going to be using a pencil, and the reason you're using a pencil and not going right to Sharpie, because I know some of my artist friends like to go right to Sharpie. You cannot erase Sharpie. So we use pencil and an eraser to make sure that our artwork looks pretty before we go to Sharpie, because real artists, they don't throw away their piece of paper if they make a mistake. They erase it, or they change something. And if you made a mistake using Sharpie, they change it and turn a mistake into a masterpiece by fixing it. You know, boys and girls, a lot of artists paint on the side of buildings. Maybe you've seen artists painting on the side of buildings, beautiful murals, even at your elementary school or your junior high. At the junior high I worked at, I did the mural at that school. I did a beautiful bobcat because they were the bobcats. If you make a mistake on a building, do you throw away the building? No, you don't throw away the building. You just change it into something else so that no one ever knows. So today we're going to be using pencil. I'm going to start with a Sharpie so that you can see how to draw a castle. Let's get started. The first thing you're going to want to do is draw a line for, and you can do it straight or you can make a mountain like I am. Draw a line for the ground. I'm doing it in Sharpie, you're doing it in pencil so that you can erase. Draw lightly, sketch so that you don't scar the paper. If you draw lightly, like I'm going to show you, when you erase, you can't even tell that there was pencil there. If you draw too dark, you scar the paper. It makes an indentation and then it's hard to erase. But I use pencil and then I erase it. So you're going to use a light pencil. It's called sketching. That's a vocabulary word. You're going to sketch nice and light. Do your ground line. You can do it straight if you want. Does everybody have that? The next thing we're going to do is draw right in front a rectangle. Remember, a rectangle is long on two sides and short on two sides. Do you remember what a square is? It's the same on all sides. Okay, everybody have their, in pencil, does everybody have their rectangle? Now we're going to do our gate to get into the castle. You can do your gate like this, or you can do your gate in a square. Some castles have square gates and some have arched gates. This is called arched. Okay, and now you're going to make the gate to keep the bad guys out. Do you see that I'm making these two lines like this? Take your time. In pencil. And then I'm going to show you how you make the other part look realistic. We're going to go line, line, hop, line, line, hop, line, line, hop, line, hop over. And line, hop, skip over. If yours doesn't look like this, my artist friends, that's okay. Your castle is going to be your castle, not my castle. It's going to be your very own masterpiece. And I do this lesson usually with my 4th and 5th graders. If you are in junior high or high school, you are going to make this a little more complicated. Okay, does everybody have their pencil for their gate? If you just want to make a door with 2 handles, that's fine. Let's draw our road that comes from the castle gate. And remember, when we're drawing things that look realistic, things are small in the back, things are very small in the back, and larger in the front. So we make our road go out like almost like a triangle. Go ahead and do that. Now, let's add, these are called battlements. You're going to learn the parts of a castle right now. In pencil, you're going to be drawing the battlements. Do you know why they look like this, my friends? That's because during the Middle Ages, which is hundreds and hundreds of years ago, around the 1200s and 1300s, they built castles to protect themselves from the bad guys. And the soldiers used to hide behind these big stones. They're almost as big as me. These big stones, because there are castles still in Europe. And they hid behind them. And there was a big gate to keep the bad guys out. Now, let's go ahead and draw the towers or the turrets. These are the towers. Do you know why the towers were so high? The towers are so high because, I'm just going to go ahead and do this. This is a rectangle. Don't put the top on the rectangle yet. I want to show you. We're making this look like a real castle, so we're going to curve it up and curve it up over here. Take your time, erase. If you're drawing lightly, you can erase very easily and continue on. And this can also be your sloppy copy, my artist friends. If you don't like the way this is coming out, make this your practice. And then turn your paper over to the other side and draw your real castle. So, do you have a curve here and a curve here? We're going to do the top of the tower. Let's get back to my question. Do you know why the towers are so tall on a castle? Because they need to be a lookout for the bad guys. The army needs to see who's coming. You see, I added a little line in here to connect the towers to the front. I'm going to make an arch for the window and make a little curve to match that curve and an arch here. And you can take your pencil and just know that you're going to color that black. So I just make a little mark here so I know that it's going to be black. I remind myself. I think you can decide. I think I'm going to add 2 more towers in the back. So they're a little bit smaller than the ones in the front, but not by much. And I'm going to add, once again, my 2 lines and a curved line like we did over here, and a triangle for the top of the tower. That's just a triangle. Draw lightly, quick reminder. Okay, and just like we did here for the windows, I'm doing a little arch. And you can put 2 windows, 2 smaller windows. This is your castle. Have you decided what you want to call your castle? And I'm going to take my pencil and just mark it in like that. Want to know how to draw a flag? I'm going to show you how to draw a flag. It's really easy. It's a line. You're doing this in pencil with a circle on the top. And a wavy line. This is called a wavy line and a wavy line. And there is our flag. I think I need another flag on the other side. I'm going to do a wavy line and a wavy line. Now we have 2 flags. Okay. We have you drawn 1 tower, 2 towers with windows up high? Another fun fact about castles, do you know why the windows are up high? So that nobody attacks them down below. These are good lookout windows, aren't they, my friends? Okay. For our older artists, you're going to add mountains in the background, and if our younger artists feel like they can do that, they're going to add mountains in the background. It can be mountains of grass. These are going to be snow-capped mountains, like that. Okay, now we're going to go over all the lines with Sharpies. This is called tracing. That's an art vocabulary word. You're going to trace all your lines with your Sharpie so that they're all covered up. I want you to do that now. Remember, if you don't like the way your castle's turning out, make this your sloppy copy, and you can draw the real one on the back side. If you're not using the back side, if you haven't destroyed it, and this is not destroyed, you have a nice clean surface to do another castle. Okay, go ahead and go over, trace over all your lines with Sharpie. Then, if you drew nice and lightly, my friends, you can erase the pencil lines and no one will even know you did pencil. So I'm going to give you a moment to go ahead and trace over all your lines with Sharpie, and I'm going to show you how we can color our beautiful castle to make it your very own. Okay, take your time. I'm just going to erase some lines right here while you're tracing over all your pencil lines. Okay, for our older artists, here's another way you can make your castle look. This has one tower with 3 windows in the back, and these are open towers for the military, the army to look and make sure that no one's attacking the castle. You can make a moat if you want, and we can make that in blue. You can add a dragon. Don't forget, you can Google how to draw a dragon, and there are step-by-step instructions on how to draw a dragon to add. You can even have the dragon coming in from the outside, breathing hot fire onto the castle. Okay, finish up tracing over all your lines. I'm going to color in my windows black. Can't see the soldiers. I always think about castles when I'm drawing them and how they must have made the castles back in the 1200s and the 1300s. They didn't have bulldozers. They didn't have machinery. They stacked all their stones using unbelievable power by the people. The people rolled the stones up the mountains, and they placed them stone by stone to make these huge castles to protect the people from the enemy. Okay, I am just about ready to start my artwork. You can do it in crayon. You can do it in marker like I showed you and turn your marker into watercolors. You can use these markers. You can use crayons, and I use the crayons like I do colored pencils. I like crayons a little better than colored pencils in a lot of ways because you can show light and dark where the shadows are. Let's review again. The shadows are always on the same side. If it's on the right side, then it'll always be on the right side. If it's on the left, if you start on the left accidentally, no big deal. Just make sure all your shadow lines, the darker part of your towers, are always on the same side. Details I added here were stones coming up to the front gate and grass. And you can add clouds. What color are clouds, everybody? White. Don't forget, your clouds are white, your sky is blue. The sky goes all the way from top to bottom. It just doesn't stay at the top. When you look outside at the beautiful skyline of Phoenix, make sure that always put your sky all the way down to the bottom, to the ground. The sky starts at the top and goes down to the bottom. If you did mountains, the sky starts at the top and goes down to the mountains. I'm going to do one quick thing. I want to show you how to color with crayons. Let's see. My castle, I think, is going to be, I can't decide. I think I'm going to use pink and purple. Make sure this is blue violet. Be sure to look at the names on the crayons and also on your markers, because that will tell you what color it is. That one was blue violet. I want purple. That was blue violet. How come I have two blue violets? Let's look on the back and see what colors they are. See if I like them. One color. Two colors. That's pretty. I'm going to make my castle these two colors. Okay, I'm going to start with pink. And I'm just going to start you off. I need to let you do your own artwork. You don't need me to be sticking around while you're coloring or painting. I just want to show you how we can color it. Don't forget to color the battlements. These are called battlements, where the soldiers hide behind. Go ahead. Now remember, for our guys and our boys that are making a castle, you can make your castle as scary as you want. You can make a very scary castle using dark colors. I'm making a princess castle. And here are some details that you can add to your princess castle. Can you add a rainbow in the back of your castle? Yes. Can you add a moat? Yes. Can you add shadows? Yes. You're going to make this castle your very own. Please, please send me your castles. This is my email address. Put your first name so we can share it with our other artists. My email address is Miss Patty Young Arts, Miss Patty Young Arts, one word, @gmail.com. I can't wait to see your artwork. Give me some feedback. Did you think this project was too hard or too easy? Was it boring? Was it fun? I need your feedback so that it'll help me be a better art teacher. I hope you have fun finishing the details on your castle. Don't forget to send them to me.